What is up, YouTube? Mr. LaMessi here, and today we're going to be talking about the Diablo 2 Resurrected patch 2.3 highlights. So, this is a new post by the Blizzard team right here. Seems like there's a couple fun little things that they tossed in. I don't think there's a ton of stuff here yet, but it does kind of, I think, talk about some future stuff. I haven't read it yet. I'm just going off of what I've heard, what I've seen a little bit. You know, I'd like to not spoil it, right? All that stuff. So, let's read. For the past 2 months, brave adventurers have clashed with fearsome foes from the realms of Sanctuary to the burning hells, slaying and looting their way to victory. Oh, that's us. We're the adventurers. In this time, we've seen significant improvement in decreasing queue times as players now on average wait less than 60 seconds to enter Sanctuary and get in-game. As our team continues to work and make further optimizations to our game servers, we've also been listening closely to our community and absorbing feedback from our players. We'd like to take this opportunity to highlight a couple of new features our team has been working on to level up the player experience in Diablo 2 Resurrected. These features will be officially introduced in early December when patch 2.3 goes live. This update will be accompanied by many bug fixes and other improvements, which will be detailed upon the release of the patch. When we set out to resurrect this beloved classic, we made our great efforts to modernize the art and visuals of the original D2 experience, while also make the gameplay more accessible. We hope these changes will resonate with you as we continue to pursue those core development goals. Offline difficulty scaling, aka /players8. This feature from the original PC game is now coming to console platforms. Hey! For solo offline players who want to scale the game difficulty as well as rewards, update players, your wish is being granted. To use this feature, players simply open their game settings, go to game settings, offline, and adjust the offline difficulty scaling slider. Once this setting has been configured, new monsters will spawn with varying HP and reward with players with vastly increased experience gains and loot drops rates when defeated. Wow! I mean, we know what it does, right? That's why I'm reading it. That's huge. All the console players, you can actually get to 99 on console now. Instead of, you know, just sitting there and waiting and trying to players won everything. Wow. Also good for the magic finding for the characters. That's big. Big improvement to console. Very, very big. Happy they added that. It doesn't seem like it's a tough change, but a big win nonetheless. Only console offline? Yeah, you can't change players online anyway. And I know a lot of people have talked about this before where they're like, oh, you need to be able to change the player count online. But the actual mechanics of creating that, like, in code, it would be such a mess because of the way that things get created in the game and the monsters get spawned. If you're like setting it to players, but then what happens if like people join your game? Are they getting added on top, or is it just whatever the player count is set, so now the players joining the game don't matter? And also when you set players in single player, that's as if they're like unpartied players that just exist in the game and not partied players. Because you have to remember, when you have partied players that are near each other, there's actually going to be a small increase in the items and the experience and things like that when you're actually like moving around as a party and stuff. And so there's like all these changes that it just would be a complete mess. So, you know, and what if like one person wants to farm on a higher player count, but the other person wants to farm on a lower? Just no. It shouldn't be online, and the technical difficulties of getting that all set would just be an absolute nightmare. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And again, then it ruins the whole idea of online play, which is about getting more people in the game. Like, that's the whole reason, is that you can't get 8 people in the game and make the game a player's one game. And so it's easy for all 8 people to go through it, right? The whole point of the players increasing difficulty and experience and everything is because when more people join a game, it's trying to match it to the number of people in the game. That's the whole point of all of that. So it goes up and down with the number of people so that you're not screwing it over, essentially, right? And you're not creating this experience that is too easy or too difficult, right? It pairs it up to appropriately do it. There's no, it's just, yeah. And like I say, it would just be a really difficult thing to, why offer that player in single player because in single player you can only go on players 1, so the option is one person can just always increase the difficulty as if there's more players in the game, because eventually your character does get strong enough right there, and you don't have the option. There's never an option to go into a game with another person. That's why. Anyways, let's move forward. Keyboard and mouse quickcast and active skill binding options. Wow. Currently, players use spells and abilities with the keyboard and mouse by clicking the right and left mouse buttons. This means players have only access to 2 abilities at any given time. Most advanced players use the function keys to remap at the right and left mouse buttons if they want to swap their abilities on the fly. This means if you want to use an ability that isn't currently mapped to one of your mouse buttons, you need to hit the function key so that you have mapped to a different skill and then click the mouse button to use it. That's correct. When we brought controller support to Diablo 2 Resurrected, players gained immediate access up to 12 buttons. When a player presses any of the face buttons or triggers that they have a mapped ability, they instantly use them. Diablo 3 uses the same method. It has become the expectation for most controller interfaces in action role-playing games. We've seen an outpouring of community feedback requesting this feature for keyboard and mouse play too. We originally avoided this approach because we feared it would stray too far from the initial experience, but the community is eager for it, so we're eager to deliver. Players can now opt to use the active skill bindings bar. This will show an additional bar above the standard HUD at the bottom of the screen. Players can map up to 16 skills, although the tooltip suggests F1 to F8, to that additional bar. Furthermore, if the quick cast skill option is active, pressing these buttons will instantly use the abilities rather than just remap the right or left mouse buttons. Ultimately, we leave these new feature customizations to the player preference. Players will be empowered to enable the quick cast skills option to action-bound skills to their current mouse's location, as well as enable display active skill bindings to display the current bound skill bar on their screen HUD at the player's discretion. Now they can tailor their experience the way they play. That's another big one right there. So, I mean, we might even just zoom in on this bad boy if we can. Nope, not really. Interesting. How does it work with Paladin Aura? It's probably the same way with controller. You just get the one that is active. But the nice thing in that regard is you just leave your aura on one of them, and then you can just like use anything else. But if it's something I believe on controller that was just a right skill, then I don't think you could use it with the aura, I think. Like I say, it should work the same as the controller does there. This is interesting. So it seems like whenever you push the button, and this actually makes me have some concern, because look at how this interaction works. Right? So he sets up his hotkeys, and you have all of these. And whenever he does a quick cast, it changes the skill to that, cast the skill, and then changes back to whatever was set underneath it, right? My concern is, just like we've had with control clicking things in and out of your stash, is this going to be the same issue where if it's laggy on the server, it's not going to actually like change it over, you know? That's definitely my concern, because it does look a little wonky. So will we have the issues where it fails to do that properly and stuff? Maybe. On controller, you can tele with the aura active. Oh, well, that's just broken. Okay, well, that might just be broken then. If you can teleport while you have an aura active, that's just like super nice. Then you can teleport with salvation on and stuff, which is honestly a big help. Will this break PvP? I mean, something like that would be a little bit extra nice if you can teleport around with an aura on and stuff. For the most part, though, no. I mean, this is just, you know, I mean, all of us that don't use this method and just use the current way Diablo 2 exists, it's perfectly... You can't teleport with an aura active. I tried it. Okay. Well, then, yeah, then no, nothing is different. This is just for people who are used to the Diablo 3 method or Path of Exile method or whatever it is, right? Where you push the button and it just quick cast it. But, you know, I feel like I can move around extremely fast and just as well by just teleporting or just, you know, pressing the key and clicking at the same time, right? That timing is something I'm very... fine with. So cool. This is for all the D3 players and stuff that needed that. Accessibility and graphical Improvements. UI visual improvements. A handful of visual tweaks have been made to improve the front-end user face. An indicator has been added to exemplify what players are muted or ignored. Will they actually be muted or ignored, though? That's my question, because you couldn't ignore them before. Additionally, the character's level and expansion type will now be revealed on the lobby screen. Also made improvements to changing the target channel when sending a chat message so it's clearer and more straightforward. Lastly, players will now be able to see the real ID names of Battle.net real ID friends on their friends list. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of want people to mute me so I can look super cool. Gameplay improvements. On the gameplay front, we added the mistext indicator to PvP combat, so players who enable mistext in their options will now be able to see when their characters attack miss their opponents in PvE and PvP. Throw can once again be bound to a key even if the player has nothing to throw. Additionally, a new bind called Force Move has been added. When used, the player's character will automatically navigate to the current mouse location. Wow! Force Move is here! Honestly, I would have been happy just to have the throwing option back, but Force Move just by itself could be the entire patch. They could just be like, this whole patch is just Force Move added. And everyone would be like, they did it! Amazing. This means you don't have to have normal attack on your stupid left click where you accidentally attack things because you couldn't set, not have that when you're trying to move. Audio improvements. Players using controller PC console now hear audio cues when navigating through potential selections on the options menu. Beyond that, players will also be able to hear audio cues when auto-filling potions to their character's belt. Interesting. Graphical. For players on PC with NVIDIA graphic cards compatible with NVIDIA DLSS technology, those players will now be able to enable it in the graphics settings menu to increase graphic quality and resolution while maintaining higher GPU performance. Cool. The PTR and future updates. In the coming weeks, Diablo 2 Resurrected will be launching its first ever public test realm. Wow. A special realm where we can test balance, bug fixes, and other enhancements we make to the game. Balance. We invite you all to participate as you'll have an opportunity to play a crucial role in testing features and evolving the experience for all players. When we get closer, we'll share more details on how you can gain access to the PTR and trial these changes. The primary focus will be revolved around fixing the database issues and stabilizing our online environment. Good. Once we're confident these fixes are in good place, we'll share more details on ladder rank play and even more new changes coming to Diablo 2 Resurrected. Our community continues to be instrumental in making this game better, and for that we want to say thank you. As we continue to update and improve the game, please keep sharing your feedback with us. Your collaboration is key to building an incredible Diablo 2 Resurrected experience we will all treasure for years to come. If you want to learn more about Diablo 2 Resurrected, check out our website here, or for real-time updates, follow our official Twitter at MrLlamaSC, or make sure to follow twitch.tv/MrLlamaSC, or go to youtube.com/MrLlamaSC and subscribe. Thank you, everybody, for reading. We appreciate you all. We'll see you in hell, the Diablo team. Wow. That's so nice of them to throw a little shout out to me at the very end as well. I appreciate that. A special realm where we can test balance, bug fixes, and other enhancements. What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? Inferno gonna be viable now? Hammerden being nerfed? Enigma losing +2 to all skills? Teleport has a cooldown? What? Is this for real? Are they actually going to change this game? The barb is still awful? What? Grief is still insanely OP? Mantled ring is still every unique ring? I don't know, man. Are they balancing items? What if they're increasing the difficulty? What if, like, player 64 comes back? Though in this day and age with player 64, that'd be insane. But, I mean, Amazon. Javazon would still have fun. Are they changing monsters up? Are they, like, adjusting damages on mobs? What does balance mean? Unlimited arrows? I don't know. I mean, bug fixes, of course, need them. Other enhancements, I'm assuming that's just like stuff they're talking about for, you know, I don't know, like fixing the lobby or something. But balance. Balance is... What if they're just balancing audio levels? Oh, all of this. We come up with the craziest theories and they're like, we've balanced the audio levels of the monsters and your skills. Currently, the skills had 10% too much in their values. What if they like change rune drop rates and stuff? I don't know, man. That's crazy though. There's a lot of crazy stuff in this update. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff. Controller gets slash players, which is fantastic. Force move for all the Diablo 3 whiners. Or not force move, I'm sorry. Quickcast and the, you know, the mouse crap. Muting people has a whatever. DLSS, force move exist. But the biggest word in this whole patch is balance. In my mind. A special realm where we can test balance. This is the biggest word of this entire thing. Besides the part where they said make sure to use your Amazon Prime subscription on Mr. Llama SC at the bottom and stuff. But that's not one word though. That was like a whole sentence. Wow. Wow. Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, you guys. This is insane. We got some stuff coming. What a big update. Holy cow. What a big update. Thank you guys for being here. Big kisses to you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Write your theories down below. Maybe we'll read out the best ones on stream or something. Yeah. Peace, YouTube. Have a good one.